What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. And unfortunately, Jeff Hardy has been arrested again. Yep, and this time, he could be facing jail time. Let's get into that after the intro. As always, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out Wrestlelamia.co.uk and our non-wrestling channel, Incredible. Now, Jeff Hardy has had a long and documented battle with his personal demons, and unfortunately, it looks like they've once again got the better of him. Sadly, the current AEW star was arrested shortly after midnight last night in Florida. Hardy was arrested after leaving a local Dave and Buster's restaurant, and before visiting the restaurant, Hardy was at a music concert where he met with fans. It appears as if Matt Hardy was also at this concert, but it appears that the two Hardys went their separate ways once the concert had come to an end. Now, according to official police records, Hardy was booked into jail at 12:45 AM on charges of driving while license cancelled, suspended or revoked, violation of restrictions placed on driver's license, and DUI alcohol/drugs third offense within 10 years. Now, as things stand, Hardy remains incarcerated in Florida and he's due to appear in front of a judge tomorrow afternoon. According to the official Florida criminal statutes, special laws are in place for multiple DUI offenders. A third DUI conviction within 10 years is considered a felony in the state of Florida. Depending on the specific circumstances of Hardy's case, he could be facing time in jail. If a person is convicted of a third DUI within 10 years in Florida, a judge is required to impose several penalties. Unfortunately for Hardy, these include mandatory jail time, several years of probation, and a substantial license suspension. Now, a key factor in the case will be Hardy's blood alcohol level, and if this is significantly high, then the judge is more likely to be less lenient on the punishment handed down to the charismatic Enigma. Now, Hardy's been struggling for some time, and his demons actually led to his WWE departure back in December of last year. Hardy infamously walked out during a live event tag team match, and WWE offered Hardy help for his apparent issues, but Hardy turned this down, and this ultimately led to his WWE departure. Jeff's brother Matt claimed that Jeff was doing just fine, but this clearly isn't the case, and Jeff needs a real, genuine medical help. In 2020, Hardy would state that this was his last chance to get it right when referring to his battles. During an interview with Sportskeeda, Hardy stated, "This is my last chance to get it right. Since my early 20s, it's been a rollercoaster ride with addiction and alcoholism. I've had sober runs, doing good for a while, but then I'd always go back. Now I hope I'm done with that. As long as I stay on the straight and narrow, the sky is the limit. For me, admitting on TV that I'm an alcoholic has been empowering. It helps me remind myself of how bad it can be if I go back to that way of life. I'm blessed to do this, and I want to help people that have struggled like me. I hope I can be an example for people going through recovery." Hardy would claim that he was unhappy during his recent WWE run, and he would claim that he was ashamed to be part of the 24/7 title segments. Hardy was pushing for a main event program with Roman Reigns, and this was something that was in demand from fans. Unfortunately, this never materialized. Hardy would describe his last WWE run as having glimmers of hope on his Brother's Map podcast, adding, "The best way I can describe my journey the last few months in WWE was like glimmers of hope. Maybe I still have to do something. I felt like one of the most popular baby faces in WWE because the crowd was so with me. Then there were other times where I felt like a ghost roaming the halls. Why am I even here? I don't even feel important. I kept doing my deal and would show up and do whatever they wanted me to do. I've never been a politica, so I don't go out of my way to try and get a certain spot or achieve a certain status. That night in Edinburgh, Texas, I felt I finished my heat. I took the heat and I said, I'm ready to go. Went over the rail, disappeared into the crowd. Naturally, they think I took something like drugs or whatever, but I didn't. If I was that bad, I should have never went out there. That's the way I see it." Now, although it was clear that Hardy wasn't in the best condition during his final WWE run, Hardy did actually pass a WWE drug test, and Matt Hardy would discuss this during a Twitch stream back in February. Matt stated, "Whenever my brother ended up being released, he had taken a drug test. Usually these tests come back 10 to 14 days. Those 10 to 14 days had been up and he never got a rest, and he was curious as to whether his result was. He knew he had passed his test because he knew he hadn't been doing anything and been clean. He's been clean the whole while he's been there. There was an issue where they said Jeff Hardy had this erratic behavior and he jumped over the guardrail or whatever. Hello, he's Jeff Hardy. He's a weird dude. That's kind of what he does. The erratic behavior is why they gave him a test and sent him home. There are calls to see Hardy retire, and this may be the best move at this point. There was concern that during the Hardy Boys match with the Young Bucks, Jeff was acting rather strange, and it was later reported that Jeff was almost knocked out, but he still proceeded to compete in the match, when in all honesty, he should have received medical attention. Jeff had been taking time away from AEW due to his injury, and it was said to be nothing serious, but it appears whilst having this time off, Hardy has once again fallen off the wagon. Hardy is scheduled to compete in a triple threat ladder match with Brother Matt, the Young Bucks, and AEW World Tag Team Champions Jurassic Express on Wednesday's edition of AEW Dynamite. Obviously, Jeff's involvement in the aforementioned match is likely to be null and void. AEW have yet to release an official statement on the situation, but fans are expecting either a suspension or a straight up release. This is really bad PR for AEW, and the way the company handles this situation will be a huge test. This is the first situation of this nature to take place during this short history of the company, and there is actually a ton of pressure on AEW President Tony Khan to make a sensible call. Now, it could be argued that Hardy is in danger to other talent, and this is something that Khan would have no doubt taken into consideration. WWE were heavily criticized for their handling of Hardy's release, but looking back, it was apparent that they had Hardy's best interest in mind. Vince McMahon was said to be a huge supporter of Jeff, and he wouldn't have let him go if he believed that Hardy didn't need legitimate help. The charismatic Enigma has been extremely open over the years in relation to detailing how difficult his addiction is to combat. During a 2012 interview with the Miami Herald, Hardy would declare, "It's easy to do, it's easy to get addicted, but if you never start, you'll never have to stop." That's the best advice I can give anybody. I'm back to a place now where I was before, where I don't need a pill to paint a canvas. That's my new fix, is doing it again. It took a while to get there, but I'm here, and I'm a father now as well. That's another huge inspiration in my life. You look back and you go, why was I doing what I was doing? It takes a while, but after when you do sober up and months go by, you kind of look back. I was lost. I was like, what the hell was I doing? It's crazy. Early remission was a great gift for me, and then it's been steady climbing. So the best advice, kids, is to do what you love. Also, never start and you'll never have to stop. I've got my hardcore fans, and I thank them so much for being there for me and not giving up on me. Now, Hardy is one of the most beloved and most popular stars of all time, and fans are urging Hardy to get some serious help. It's clear that he needs to take a step back from the wrestling ring, and it's not in the best interest of anyone to see Hardy as an in-ring performer. He's 44 years of age, and at this stage in his life, he's a ticking time bomb, and it's only going to diffuse if Hardy gets the help he so badly needs. But what are your thoughts on the matter? Let us know in the comments down below. I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.